Have you ever come across a statement, a saying, or question that totally changes the direction of the course of your life? It could be something universal like the saying, I have a dream, or it could be something really personal like, I now pronounce you man and wife. Words that change your life. Well, for me, it was two questions, two simple questions, but they totally changed the direction of my life and it opened up a world of possibilities to me. My name is Anthony Charles. I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, and I am co-founder of Team Titanium and Choices TV. And I want to share these two questions with you today. And if you've never heard those questions before, then I'm about to change your world. Now, if this video is of any use to you, I'd like you to like, to subscribe, and to share. Let's get on with it. Now, I was talking to my daughter recently about the challenges that I faced when I was setting up this YouTube channel and the fears that I went through and the fears that I had to overcome. And I started looking back and I started thinking about the journey, what brought me here today. And I was looking back to see what put me on the pathway to become a trainer, to become a coach, to be able to have a business of my own, to help other people to have their own businesses. And I started looking back and I could trace it as far back to when I was around 11 years old. And I came across The Strangest Secret. My dad had it on vinyl and I was listening to it in the house. Now, I'll tell you about that story another time, but that planted the seed. But what really changed my world was the two questions. And if you've never heard the questions before, then your world is going to be changed right now. And when I look back, before I tell you what the questions are, when I look back, I was 29 years old when those questions were asked of me. And at that time, I was really disillusioned. I was working in a retail shop. I was earning about £600. No, it was 500, to be honest. It was £500 I want to say per annum. That would have been really bad. I was earning £500 a month, 6,000. And the going rate at the time was around 12,000. So things were bad. I was stuck. I left school with only 5 GCSEs and I didn't have any kinds of A levels. I didn't have a degree and I was full of self-doubt. I couldn't see past where I was and I couldn't see how I was going to achieve all the things that I really wanted to achieve. So even though I had ambition, I couldn't see how I was going to achieve them. And then, as I say, at the age of 29, I met those special people. I joined a business and all of a sudden I had these people talking to me. They were telling me things like, you can be more. They were saying you can do more, you can have more. And they kept saying you can have a business of your own. And I desperately wanted a business of my own. I had a business before. I tried to have a business before. It didn't work. So this was a way out for me. And the way they were speaking to me, the way they were encouraging me, nobody had ever spoken to me like that before in my life. And I was building up confidence with these people. Then one day they dropped those two questions on me and everything changed. And I'd never encountered questions like that before. And I know you're saying, just ask, tell me what the questions are. Let me tell you what the first question was. The first question was, if time and money was not a problem to you, what would you do that you're not doing now? Okay, that question knocked me sideways because time and money, I had a load of time on my hands. I did not have the money to match the time. In actual fact, I believed that I was working for a month and they would only pay me for 2 weeks or 3 weeks because there was always more month at the end of the money. Listen, the things that I wanted to buy, the things that I wanted to have, I couldn't even think about half of those things. So when they asked me though, you know, if I had all the time, I had all the money, I'd say things like take holidays and things like that. But it was a nice thought. And even though I was getting a little bit excited, I didn't think any more on it. And then straight afterwards, they dropped the next question on me. And that question absolutely blew my mind. It was a small explosion mind, but it blew my mind nonetheless. They said to me, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you attempt? I had a lot of trouble with that question. I was silent and they broke it down for me. They said, look, you wake up tomorrow morning, anything that you attempt, it's going to work. What would you attempt? That was scary. That was terrifying for me because I started to think about all the possibilities of what I could have. I kind of thought about having a business of my own again. I thought about being able to be financially free. I was thinking about all these things. And I desperately wanted these things, but everything that came to my mind was hidden behind a wall of fear. Couldn't do it. Couldn't think about it. Well, things didn't get any better for me because they kept challenging me, and they said, okay, make a list. Make a list of what? The answer to the questions. So you want me to write down things that I can't afford, things that I can't have. Yeah, write it down. So I write down these things. Then they say, add a date next to it. A date for what? Of when you want to achieve these things. So, okay, so I'm going to write down things that I can't afford, things that I can't do, things that I can't have. And then I need to put a date next of when I'm going to get the things that I can't do, the things that I can't have, the things. Why? I was saying this in my mind, but I was reluctantly going ahead with it. I was a little bit excited, but I was scared because they were saying, look, now you're going to learn goal setting. And I didn't know about goal setting. I had set goals in the past or New Year's resolutions, but I'd never actively sat down and written down goals, set them, tracked them, and worked towards them. I didn't know about planning, preparing, and taking massive actions to go after your goals. So eventually, things got a bit better for me. I was working with these people and things did improve. I left the retail shop and I got a job in Selfridges. Selfridges was paying the going rate at the time, 12,000. That was good. So I doubled my money, and within a year I got a job in Selfridges as a concession manager, and that took me to 14,000. So I was doing good because I was actually earning 2,000 more than the average Selfridges staff. So things were not that bad for me. I didn't look at jobs higher than that. 15,000, 20,000, 25,000. Those jobs were for the educated people. Those jobs were for the people who had A levels and degrees. And I didn't have any of that. So even though I would see those jobs, if I was job hunting, I would just kind of ignore them because I couldn't get those jobs. So one day I'm sitting down with Tom, my mentor, and before I go any further, you might be listening to the figures I'm giving you and you're saying 15,000, 20,000. Listen, just remember, I'm old as dirt. I come from a previous version of the Matrix, and back in the day, that was good money. I come from a time where I'd go to school and, the homework was on stone tablets. No, not that bad, but the teacher would say to me, where's your homework? I say the T-Rex edits when it was chasing me to school. My grandchildren sometimes say to me, Granddad, how old are you? I just say, pass the abacus, let me work it out for you. Listen, back in the day, that was decent money. I know the money's better now, but back then that was decent. Anyway, I sat down with Tom, my mentor, and we're talking about goals. And he says, so what financial goal do you want to go for in the next 12 months? So on my list, it says 10,000. So I say to him, 10,000. Of course, I set that goal, remember, when I was earning 6,000. I'm now earning 14,000. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm nearly there. I've only got 2,000 to go and I've hit the goal. So don't set that goal. That's an easy one. I've got confidence that somehow I'm going to get that 2,000 done. Tom is looking at where I am now and where I was then. And he says, okay, 14,000. So that's 24. Inside, I'm saying, no, no, I've only got 2,000. What do you mean 10,000? How am I going to get to 24? Anyway, I don't say anything and I kind of trust in Tom, but I'm just going along with it. And I can't tell you all of the things that I do. I haven't got time to tell you in this video, but I am going for it. I'm doing all the things that I'm supposed to be doing. And eventually I get a job in a mentoring program, and that job is paying 20,000 per annum. So this is within the year. This is about 4 or 5 months in from when I've set this new goal. I get this job and I'm at 20. I'm satisfied. I'm thinking, look, I missed the 10, but I did 6. I've gone from 14 to 20. Well, I wasn't in that job about 3-4 months, and there were 2 people holding the same post as me. We were both mentor coordinators. All of a sudden, the management say, we are getting rid of one of the jobs. We're going to put the 2 jobs into one, and that job is going to pay 24. Well, I went for it and I got the job. And within that year, I have gone from 14 to 24. And I'm telling you, that is really making me think now, because that's my first experience of overcoming my fears. That's my first experience of overcoming those limiting beliefs that were associated with those questions on time and money and failure. And I'm sitting there and I'm quietly beginning to think this stuff works. I'm beginning to believe. And for the first time, I've been believing in Tom all this time. But now, for the first time, I'm actually believing in myself. And it's the first time that I'm consciously thinking and realizing that I could be more, I can do more, and I can have more. It was a Matrix moment. And for the Matrix fans out there, look, remember the time when Neo was on the train station in Matrix, first film, and Trinity has gone back to the hovercraft. She's gone on the phone, gone back. And now Neo is left there with Agent Smith. He's come face to face with Agent Smith. Trinity is looking at the monitor and she says, "Run, Neo, run." Neo turns to look at the staircase and he turns back and he faces Agent Smith. And she says, "What is he doing?" Morpheus says to her, "He's beginning to believe." That was me. That was me. I was beginning to believe. And I've been using that list, those questions, for years and years, just constantly adding things to it and setting and tracking and hitting those goals. And let me just tell you something. This isn't something where you just put things down and you do some meditation and you get the results. No. You have to plan, you have to prepare, and then you have to take massive, mad action to go after those goals, dreams, and aspirations, the things you want to do, the things you want to have, the things that you want to become, the things that you want to share. You've got to take the action to do it. Now, one of the biggest things that happened to me when I first started working with these questions, you know what they've done to me over the years? I really believe that those two questions answer my question as to why I am here. They've given me my purpose of what I'm supposed to do while I'm here. And it's enabled me to have a business of my own. It's enabled me to do things that I didn't think possible. And it's enabled me to help so many people to do the same. So look, if you've heard those questions before and you're using those questions, you've made use of them, then good on you. If you've never heard those questions before, then I implore you, take 10 minutes of your time today, just 10 minutes. Get a sheet of paper or open up your tablet or your laptop and write those questions down. If time and money was not a problem, what would you do that you're not doing now? Second question, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you attempt? Make that list. Make the list. Once you've made the list, put the dates to the things that you want to have, the things that you want to achieve, and put it in order. Start learning how to set, track, and hit your goals. If you don't know how to do it, then find yourself a mentor. Find yourself a coach that can help you. If you can't find a mentor and a coach, then just subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to keep on giving you all the advice, everything that I've got to help you to be the best that you can be. I want to help you to be more, to do more, and to have more. And, you know, if I had a way of sitting down with you and getting a crystal ball or some kind of device where we could look into that device and I could show you your full potential, what you really could be, you wouldn't. And I'm not talking way down the road. I'm talking about 5 years from now. If I could show you who you really could be, you'd look at that monitor and you would not recognize that person. You wouldn't believe it, because we're not talking about where you are now. We're talking about what your potential is. It's time to start exploring the untapped potential that you've got. It's time for you to get introduced to the real you. I'm encouraging you from this point to be more, to do more, and to have more. We're on a journey together. And so make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to give you everything that I've got. And I'm going to also share my journey with you. Elements of my journey. I want to show you the good. I want to show you the bad, the ugly, and the fantastic. So look, there's a reason why I end all of my videos and I say keep on being amazing, because I'm about to introduce you to the real you. And I end the video in that way by saying keep on being amazing. You know why? Because you are. I gotta go. Got another video to make. Speak to you soon. If you found this video useful, then please check out this amazing video here where I teach you how to boost your communication skills by up to 80% in less than 12 minutes. Or this video here where I teach you how to be on time every time.